Let's get this party started. Jesus Christ, put me in lane 4, lad. Oh, it's close. Charles? Oh, this is close. Welcome back to TDP Uncensored number 2. We realised that in the first episode there wasn't actually anything that needed censoring, but it sounds like a cool name, and it sounds like we're going to say stuff that's really aggressive, controversial, behind the scenes and secret, which we may at some point, but it wasn't last episode. I'm not sure if it'll be this one.
We'll have to spice it up a bit.
But yeah, if you're a new listener, sounds like a podcast. If you're a new watcher, as a reminder, this is an uncut piece of kind of content that we do. We've set a timer for 30 minutes. We're just going to talk about things that we want to update you on, things that have been going on with us. And basically you can get a flavour in between all the other videos we're posting about what we're thinking, why we're doing things, what we need help with, what we're finding hard, and basically just kind of like build the channel with a kind of behind the scenes element for you guys. So if there's anything you want to know for future episodes, we try and put one of these out a month. Let us know in the comments. If you haven't already, do subscribe, because as you'll see, in the last month we've gained like 1,000 subscribers. So if we could gain another 1,000 by the time we film the next one, it'd be rather pleasing. But yeah, Charles, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. Do you want to talk through what was that at the beginning?
Oh,
You seem to be having fun.
So
I haven't been involved in this, by the way, so I've just seen Callum running about Cambridge by himself.
This is one of my recent business decisions. So a brand reached out. Shout out to the drone you just saw and that footage. It's actually a really good product, as much as I'm taking a piss. It's called the HOVERAir X1, and shout out to the company that sent it to me. I'll put a link in the description because I'm feeling so generous. But I just thought, I've seen all these people with drones, like Charlie's not always here. I kind of need to keep some footage going when I'm out on runs. This little thing folds up. It's big enough to just go in my pocket when I'm running. Take it out, fly it anywhere. It follows me and tracks me automatically. So I thought, what better way than to give them a little bit of promo here, because they kindly sent me the drone. And you saw that little bit of footage, me walking in, smooth shot. You weren't impressed?
It's good. I think it's cool. I think there's definitely a way that we'll be able to use it. I think definitely follow an indoor race. Piss off everyone else.
Yeah, if anyone else is a drone user out there, you'll get my excitement over the fact that it's just so fun to like. I never thought I'd be like that. Like, I don't really get excited about technology or things like that. But the fact that I can just like launch this thing in the air and it follows me around fields and shit like that is just fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it'll be. We'll find a use for it definitely in a project. It will have its uses for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I just this feels like that. AI taking over your jobs. Are you going to replace me with a robot?
It's close.
It's close. He's good. He's good, this one.
So since we last had an episode, what have we actually done? We launched the Liverpool cross-country video that went down well, and we did the Brussels cross-country video. Is that the only 2 we've had? I think so.
Yeah, there was supposed to be something in between, but it got pretty chaotic in between.
Yeah, you've become a megastar since those 2 videos. Everyone's in the comments, oh, Charlie's filming so good, he's creative, he's getting this and that. So
it's a long way to fall.
People are forgetting about the real talent in it. It's slogging his guts out doing hill reps.
Yeah, my feet were wet in Liverpool.
That's true. What are your thoughts on those videos? Did you prefer making them to some of the summer stuff we did? Is it a lot more effort for you? Like, obviously we talk about what our idea is and like the vision and the story we're going to tell, and we organise what shots we're going to get. But when you send me over like the first copy, that's the first time that I'm like, okay, so that's what it all looks like when it's put together.
Yeah.
Do you think about that before you're going to edit it? Or do you like just start editing and it comes to you?
It's a good point. I think it's tricky because the Closing the Gap series was so good because it was so easy to do, because it was chronological. We get there on a Friday, muck about on Saturday, race Sunday, do a recap, post it, and it was like that, rinse and repeat. Yes, it was a different place, so it felt different each time.
Yeah, and you're just filming what's going on, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think with trying to level up the content, as discussed in the last episode of this, trying to level up and trying to have something that we could produce for other people.
Yeah,
like, that series was very much the like Callum Elson, whereas we're trying to make stuff that this race is, we're featuring Liverpool and Callum, but this could be your athlete, or this could be your brand, or this could be your product. So trying to go away from how do we make sure that an athlete is still front and center, and at the moment it's still going to be you, but then making sure that there's still a good storyline. We then adding bits and like explaining events, and we were coming at it from we know exactly how Liverpool works and how Eurocross works, but there'll be loads of people that don't. So taking the minute or 2 at the start of the video to explain that was tricky, and we did a couple of takes of various voiceovers and various
and I think
run-throughs of what
people
that should look like. I think it went well.
In hindsight, I think people appreciated it. Like, for us, it's difficult, like, and hopefully this shows in the videos, we're trying to find the balance between engaging a passionate and loyal athletics audience that understands everything about athletics. They know who runners are, they know how things work, they just want to tune in and get like the real behind the scenes content, but also recognizing that a lot of people that might be interested, or the fact that we want to grow the sport and get more people interested, don't actually know the intricacies of how certain events work. Exactly. So it's finding a balance between, like, we don't want to dumb it down too much and athletics fans watch it and be like, oh, is this for like made for like beginners, like, so obviously don't insult my intelligence. But equally, we still want to show like the masses, because if we're trying to grow a channel, we need something that has the ability to like go beyond a couple of thousand people that like running already. We need to kind of get more people involved. But I think what we wanted to like touch on is like, we wanted just to set the expectations for the channel. Like, in an ideal world, we would have like every single week would be like, here's a really good video, here's a really well produced thing, here's an amazing race, here's like an amazing achievement. But the reality of just like the sport that we're in is there's not a big championship event or a big qualifying event every single week. So even if I'm running amazingly, I'm not going to be racing every single week where we can put out a video. And even if we're like, okay, well, we'll find someone else that's doing it, it's really hard to consistently have that. And you're going to have periods where we don't necessarily have that amazing, wow, here's a big race day content. But that being said, we do have a lot of plans for kind of the back end of January and February, where we probably will have almost a race video every single week, where we put together kind of a high profile thing. So yeah, we hope you can bear with us in these times where it's like putting out a video like this, maybe doing some more like workout related content, or little videos where you can sort of see what's going on. We can sort of tell you a little bit more about us. You might see some other like characters and teammates that are involved. And I genuinely think, this is not just me saying it because I want to grow the channel, I think you'll have a more enhanced viewing experience of the big race day videos where you see all the emotions and stuff if you understand us as kind of characters a little bit better, because you'll have an idea of like what we're trying to achieve.
It's interesting you say that. I went back and watched the British Champs video that we did, and then I went back and watched the 2022 British Champs. Yeah. And it's like the amount, I was literally spotting Whiteman, Kerr, Hayward, and then you. Yeah. And I had no idea who these other people were. Yeah. And now it feels so different being able, like, knowing these people, or just at least knowing a face. Yeah, yeah. Oh, being like, oh, James Gormley's been here, or James Young's been here for a while. Like, these guys have been doing it for a while, and it's nice to see going back. It's like looking at old, like, it always reminds me of that, like, Morgan McDonald NCAA thing. You go back and you realise, oh, he's now pro, he's now pro, he's a thing. 100%. And you don't realise until afterwards. So I think that's what we've been trying to start doing on a small level with the Liverpool stuff, and like, who are we looking out for? Okay, yeah, you've got your Mark Scotts, your Jack Rose, but there's also Scott, who's just come back from America, who people in the UK might not have heard of as much. Yeah. So doing stuff like that, and then also with Brussels doing a bit more focus on these are all the junior categories as well, because those guys are only going to get bigger.
Yeah, these are all like repeat characters, you see what I mean? So like, we're hoping that the more we tell you, like, you see a behind the scenes thing here, or we have this conversation, or you see a workout video, you can piece together where that fits in, and kind of, when you then watch, okay, he's qualifying for this, or he's going for this time, or this is kind of one of the feature kind of big videos that we've put out, you can have a better experience and enjoy the video more, because you know, we might have told you in one of these videos like what it means, or what the priorities are, or that sort of thing. So yeah, we wanted to lay out like expectations for the channel. We've had like our best 2 ever performing videos as the last 2 before this, and we're under no illusion, like, we're not expecting this conversation here to go and get 20,000 views like the others.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. But that's just kind of like where we are with things. So yeah, if there's a couple of videos and it's not quite the ones you want, rest assured we are understanding the constant feedback from the comments of what people like, what people didn't, which areas that they enjoyed. And we have got plans. I mean, on my laptop here, I can see our kind of schedule for February, and that's already looking like in 4 weeks there'll be 4 race videos. We don't know what races yet, because we've got to wait and see where we go, and it depends how I perform and things like that. But yeah, we've got some exciting plans that are pretty much, one of them is in the UK, but all the others are international, so it'll be some cool experiences, I think.
And definitely from a business perspective, we trying to figure out, the whole point of what we said last time was, we're going to spend the next 6 months, or this Olympic year, from still in December, but like working out what works, what doesn't. Yeah. We kind of know that race videos are going to work, and we can do them, and we've tried different concepts, doing some intros. So it's good to know that they're going to be like, use them as like a bread and butter. But in between that, yes, we'll have stuff like this. Yes, we'll have some training videos, but we also want to try and find some other concepts, focus on some different people, like you said.
Yeah.
So there might be some stuff that it might not work. It also might be something you didn't know you wanted to see, but we need to try that in order to, because otherwise we'll just turn into another running YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We'll just be making other versions of other people's stuff.
I think that's the biggest thing is like we just want to do unique stuff. Like my mission from the start is literally been like when I first spoke to Charlie, is that I want to create stuff that isn't already out there. Like if you want to see someone faster than me run, there is people out there that have a channel. You can go and watch Charles Hicks run a 5K faster than I might ever run a 5K. Or you can, if you want to watch someone that is going to bigger races, you can go and watch someone do a world major marathon, a bigger race than I'll do. Like there's all the stuff that already exists out there. I think the unique position we're in is like documenting the journey of trying to break into and become around those elite circles. And you can see how kind of like someone who's not used to being in that world hopefully tries to enter that world, which I do think is different to if you saw an amazing Mo Farah documentary where you're like, well, he's been doing it for 20, 30 years. So like, you're not really feeling the same kind of emotion and stuff. But the main thing is we do have exciting, like good content to come, and hopefully we can keep it going through December and January. And please let us know in the comments if there's anything that you're particularly interested in or you did like about previous videos, or things mostly that you didn't like or you found frustrating or whatever, because we don't read the comments and cry. We read them and like, great, we've got 100 bad comments, 100 good comments. Like we've learnt more for the next video. So yeah,
I've shed a tear or two.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
But no, it's interesting, not to make it too cliche, but your whole closing the gap thing last year, getting to those elite circles, we're also trying to do the same thing with the short films or the videos that we're making. It's like, I know I've never been trained in it. I've never studied it. I'm just editing what I think will look good. I'm purely based off, I know who these people are and how these races work. That's the only information I'm coming into this with. Yeah. So I'm also trying to bridge the gap between our level of video production and then also, let's say, someone who's going to charge big bucks. Where do we sit in that? Because you'll find yourself in that place from an athletics point of view of like, here's where I sit and here's what I can bring to the table. Yeah. We're also trying to figure out the same from the Distance Project productions point of view as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting point.
And it's from a long-term, like everything we're doing is with a long-term perspective. Like we were discussing like before we started recording, okay, we're going to sit down, we need to make sure we talk about these things, and then let's just see what else we think is kind of important. And we could have sat down here, done a clickbait title of like Josh Kerr or Jakob or whatever. I could, in my traditional style, say some like quite angry or controversial things, and it would probably get way more views than one of our race videos. Like if it gets picked up that I've said that someone's a wanker or someone's this or whatever, then the numbers in the short term would be a lot better. Yeah. But you're not going to keep tuning in. Like we don't want it to become like a drama channel, or like you wouldn't keep tuning in to watch things. You'd be like, oh, that's that guy that slags someone off, and then you'd forget about it. We'd rather just put all our effort into making something we think is really high quality, has value, is meaningful, and we know it's not going to get many views now, but hopefully you'll start to recognise the channel of, oh, when they post, it's normally something pretty valuable or something that I enjoy watching, and you'll keep coming back, and that's how we can hopefully scale it. So that's kind of where we're at from a video business perspective.
Nice.
So what did you think? I meant to ask you, because obviously it's about the running and what I'm doing, but what did you actually think of Eurocross going? Because I don't think we've actually spoken about, did you enjoy it as an event, or were you in like work mode where you're focusing on like getting shots and shit like that?
I think the event, if you can go, like it's definitely one of the events that I'd say definitely worth going out for the day, like best day trip. I still haven't done like London Diamond League was cool. Night of the 10Ks is always cool. Yeah. But in terms of everyone, there's always someone in the race that you've seen at Worlds or Olympics or Euros. It's definitely cool, and it's so good. It's crazy from a video point of view in terms of you have about a minute and a half between one race, the last person finishing and the next race starting. That's crazy. But in terms of a spectator, it's so good that like whilst your the under 23s were warming up, the women's were already out, and it's like it's just one after the other. It's so good.
When you've been filming cross country for these videos, is it way harder than filming on the track?
Yeah, it's only because the quarters are so much bigger. That's literally it. Yeah. But we were talking about Liverpool, and we mentioned Elliot, who did all the sick photos for everyone that day. he was actually being like, there's a sick spot behind that tree if you go into that forest. So you got like, if you can make it over there. And I'm like, yeah, but I've got to get back for the women finishing here. It's crazy, but I think it makes better
that actually,
because the track, you'd be like, what lap is this?
That actually brings us on to the other point that we were talking about, which is, this is kind of like an open shout to people. And I know after we filmed the last one of this, I got a million messages from people saying, oh, you should tell this story, do that, whatever. So thanks a lot. If you are like a videographer or a photographer, I guess, but ideally with some video experience, you don't need to have had all the amazing equipment and everything. Ideally, you use high quality stuff, you know what you're doing. And not to say that if you're already established that you can't be interested, but ideally, like if you're like up and coming, you're trying to build your portfolio, you want to do things, drop myself a message on Instagram, or just comment if you're confident enough, comment below in the comments with like your email address or your Instagram or a link to like something you've done before. Because basically a lot of the projects that we're wanting to work on, we're to try and add more value, we really want to get behind the scenes of all of the characters that we have. So whether it's like a team and we're doing a team event, like Charlie could come here and film with me and my team, but he can't also go and film with 3 or 4 other teams at once.
Yeah.
And same with individuals. If we've got 4 or 5 main characters that are all going to battle it out for the win in a race, we want to have had all of their last training sessions, all of their interview footage. So we're trying to assemble like a bit more of a network around the UK, especially of people that if we're going to a project where we know it'll be good to have 2 cameras on a cross-country course, we've got a good bank of people we can drop a message and say, look, is anyone free? This is what we can offer you for a day rate, or we can cover these costs, or we can do whatever. And hopefully it'd be some good experience for you to kind of learn from, not obviously Charlie's still learning, but get an idea from him of like how we piece things together and sort of the projects that we have in the back of our mind. If we get the right funding for, we want to be having a team of 3, 4, 5 different people that can help film it over a course of months, especially building up to the Olympics. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, like no offense to anyone, but if you've just been like doing stuff on your iPhone and then using like iMovie or something, don't worry, like keep doing what you're doing. But we need people that like know what they're doing with cameras. You don't need editing experience though. Charlie's like on it with that sort of thing. So yeah, if you're a videographer and you're interested in potentially some work, comment below with an email address for you or a link to like your portfolio, or drop me a message on Instagram and I'll get back to you. Anything on that from you?
It's more that we could easily find a list of established videographers. I would put myself nowhere near that list, but people that could do the job. But more of an honesty point of view, if you go back and compare, and there's still things that I would change with the Brussels video and the Liverpool video. It's just like with a turnaround time is like we can only do 1 or 2 revisions, and we like you look at it once and then it comes back, we make changes and it goes. Whereas if you think that that documentary that we first watched that got loads of ideas, that Right to Race documentary, so sick. That came out about 6 months after that last race.
Yeah.
So they're working for 6 months to make a 30-minute video, and we did the Closing the Gap video like a week after you'd finished your series.
Yeah, we just want to get the more shots you can get of one race, just the better it is, right? Like you as the audience know, if you get to see a track race and it's just the guy coming around the bell lap each time, it's like, all right, well, how many times can I watch a guy run in a circle for 400 meters? But if you've got a guy on the back straight that you get a shot of him pushing someone else, then you get a shot of him being overtaken, and then it just adds to the experience. So we are actively trying to reinvest any funds we create from you watching videos like this, hence why kind of we make them, get a few extra £100 and stuff, to be able to go say, okay, like we can pay for this guy to come and help us for the day. And same with any sort of brand engagements we do. We want to reinvest it just to try and make the best content possible, because we're under no illusion that like it's going to take one of these videos getting 100k views for all the subscribers to eventually flood in. So let us know.
Yeah, and it's my point was more along the lines of compare. Like I said, I would change 10 different things with the Liverpool video, but if you compare that to, we were talking about it just then, episode 1 of Closing the Gap.
Yeah.
It's leaps and bounds. So we'll be in another 10 videos from now, another 10 videos. So if you think that's where you are, like that's where I was like the beginning of this summer. So just get in touch. I'd be happy to help people that are less established in the space, like I am or was.
100%. Yeah, that's the plan. And like, and as well, like, it's not to be underestimated that if you're someone watching this, like we value the connections you have as well. So the reason me and Charlie can create good content, I think, is because we get along quite well. So I'm comfortable with him being there, asking me questions, like knowing the boundaries of like what to do when we're racing and what not. And you know, if you're at a university and you've got friends that run for the uni team, perfect. Like, you're going to be comfortable filming them and doing stuff. So yeah.
A funny story about that though. I was trying to keep like a straight face before like Eurocross.
Yeah.
And I saw you guys in the warm up area, and I'm always like, I'll speak to Callum before, and then as soon as you start your warm up, I'm like, leave him to it. Gonna say, he'll talk when he wants to, and he'll give like a little nod or a thumbs up or something. Or like, have you got this? And we'll just keep it pretty casual. So I'm just filming from like looking like some pervert from behind a tree, being like, just filming all these guys kitting off in the warm up area. Then Osama Meslek comes over and he goes, he's lost his voice. He goes, "Go on the distance project," and then he's standing next to me, and I'm like, "Oh."
And then 2 minutes later, he was like, "And track start."
I was like, "What about me?" Yeah. I was trying to keep so focused, but
no, it's funny.
We missed that bit, unfortunately.
I guess speaking of Euros, we should probably do a bit of a running update in this video as well. So, from my perspective, I had obviously Eurocross, tough race, didn't get an amazing result, but is what it is. Had an easier week after that, so that's last week as of now when we're recording, which was already planned in depending on how I did either way, kind of like not a week off, but just a week without any intensity between kind of the drawing the line between cross country and then the indoor season, or getting ready for the indoor season. So from now I have about 6.5, 7 weeks until I'm probably going to open my indoor season. And the goal for the indoor season, obviously, is to enjoy it, race well, all that other shit that people say, but it's pretty much to run the world indoor qualifying time, which is pretty hard. It's 3:36.00 for 1500 or 3:53.5 for the mile. So if you get either of those, then you have the world qualifying time. You then have to go to the British Champs towards the end of February, and you have to finish first to get automatically picked, and then they will pick another person. So
that's mental.
Another one of these like long shot goals, but for a variety of reasons that would take a whole I keep calling this a podcast, a whole video in itself, is like you get ranking points that will help you in the outdoor season. You will get higher on British athletics, kind of like selection policies if you can run faster times and show recent form, blah 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 blah, loads of reasons. But the content that you'll see in February will be basically my pursuit of trying to run one of those times, as well as some other people to be not named now who will be equally trying to get times for different events and qualifying. So there'll be a mixture of myself and other people featured in the videos, which should be pretty cool.
2 questions.
Yeah.
First one, and just because I asked it earlier, and maybe I was just being stupid, that's the world, when you just said world indoor qualifying time, that's 3:36.
Yeah.
I know there's people using indoor qualifying times to get Olympic qualifying times. So
Yeah.
There's a separate, you're going to be focused on the 1500 again. That's the world indoor qualifying time of 3:36. You'll need to then, once you've finished indoors, go outdoors and run, and we'll cover this as well in more detail when you start your outdoors. But just to clarify, the next time to run after that indoor time is outdoors 3:33.
Yeah, so how it works is, to get the Olympic time, outdoors you have to run 3:33.5 or 3:50.4 for the mile. So if you achieve either of those indoors, which is, well, it's not impossible.
No.
For someone of me, it's really hard, but like other athletes will do that comfortably, like Nagoose, Kirk, etc. They're easily running those times. If they run those times indoors, it still counts.
Okay,
if you see what I mean.
Right,
so if I pull it out the bag and go, wow, Callum runs 3:49 mile, then you've got the Olympic time, even though you've run it indoors.
Yeah.
But obviously the goal is the world indoor time, which is slightly more friendly to try and get.
Cool.
And then step on to outdoors and try and do that.
We'll cover outdoors when we get to it. My second question is, going into last season, you hadn't even broken 3:39.
Yeah.
And the whole goal of last season was, firstly, get under 3:40 and then get as far under that as possible.
Yeah.
Now going into it being like, right, 3:36, that's like the minimum, and then 3:53 for the mile. Like, how does it feel? This time last year, you just made your first GB vet. What I'm trying to say is, have you taken the second to be like, this is mental?
Not really. Like, everything is happening, and like I'm just focusing on like trying to level up in all different aspects. Like, I've gone from being like, okay, I've made the big jump, I've done like the bulk of the work. It's now like all the little 1% that are going to add up. So it's like, okay, my physio and how I approach injury prevention, like how can that in isolation be better? how can my S&C be better? How can my nutrition be better? Just all slightly level up all these little things, which are the things that you kind of don't worry about until you need to worry about them.
You just had a Big Mac for lunch.
No, I didn't. You can't say that, man. KFC will never sponsor us.
Callum cooked a homemade stir fry, which was quite good.
Yeah, but I did eat a whole bar of chocolate last night. But I ate a whole bar of chocolate the night before Liverpool and it worked. So, no, what I was going to say is like, what I'm unsure of is like, and I can say it now because I'm so far out from the actual races. In my mind right now, I feel like I'm way less nervous than I was last year, which might sound counterintuitive, but I feel like I've proven that I'm good to myself.
Yeah.
So like, there's not a question now of like whether I'll just be average or not. So like last year, not average, but like whether I will be like just all right, 340, like nice.
You know it's in the locker.
Nice
like,
one, mate. It's like, well, I ran 335. You can never take that away from me, and more importantly, I can never take it away from myself. That's a world class time, and a few years ago would have qualified you for most things.
Yeah.
335. I know I've done that. So now it's not a question of proving to myself like, are you just like average or good? It's like I know I'm good, but the question is, can I be world class or not? And that's where it's difficult. But I say that now, but equally, for all I know, after emotions build up and everything, I might be on the start line in February and be like, oh God, I've got a lot to prove here, or I've got expectation, but I just don't think I will have that. Like,
I think it's why it's so good that we documented the whole thing, because I now know that when you're in that mindset, the likelihood is that you'll perform well. And the cool thing about having documented this is, to me, it's after the MZ Carmile last year that you went like, no, I know I can go from 300 out or 200 out. Your racing just changed. You weren't in the race. You were like, right, I'm in this. You started racing to win rather than just, I'm just going to go for a time, see where I end up. And you can literally see it switch. And then the next race, I think it was the next race you went, that's when you went 339. And then went on and on and on from there.
I think Riga will be a big thing. Like, winning that medal. Like, I beat a lot of people on paper that, like, you go into it thinking that, these people are better than me. I think that just teaches everyone a lesson where, like, and it's not just me, it's like, if you look at that whole field and where everyone finished, like, it was just a bit random. I think it teaches everyone, you just got to roll your sleeves up and just race. And if you just race, like, what will be. But the important thing is like, and I do not take this lightly, is when I get my opportunity, or this is for anyone, but especially me, when you get your one opportunity to run really fast, or to beat someone that's really good and get you a bit of clout or whatever it is, you have to take your chance, because there's not that many people, unless you're like a really seasoned pro that's been around for ages and, you know, your times and your accolades talk for themselves. If you're a up-and-coming person like me and you get thrown a bone of like, oh, look, we can put you in this gold label meet, we can put you in this diamond league, whatever, you have to take your chance then. Because once you've done it, if you've been in that top level, you've had every chance to run fast, and you blow it, you're not getting it again. Do you know what I mean? So that's where, you know, is the kind of more crunch side of the sport, where it's like, look, you get a spot on the line at London Diamond League, you better go and run 332 like everyone else. Because if you don't do that, then what are you going to do? Turn around to people and say, oh, I would if I could get a pacer or wave light or whatever. It's like, no, you had your chance and you didn't do it. And I know bad days happen and things, but that's the way that I view it. Is like, it's quite cutthroat. But I'm excited. Indoors is, look, my goal is to run the outdoor qualifying time for the Olympics and line up at British Champs in June, and on paper have the same statistical chance as anybody to make the Olympics. That's the goal for the year. That's the only goal. So for June 29th, when I arrive on the start line at British Champs, hopefully make the final, I'll be able to line up and go, right, there's 6 or 7 of us here. The first 2 that cross the line are going to go to the Olympics. Yeah. And hopefully I'll be one of those people. Because then that 4 minutes will dictate the next 4 years of your life, whether you've gone to the Olympics or not. But you've got to give yourself a shot. From now until June, not little things, but like trying to qualify for World Indoors, maybe World Cross Country, maybe European Outdoors, all those things, they're part of my development, part of doing whatever. But actually, you know, if I do nothing good between now and June and then pull it out of the bag, I'd take that now. If we had to shake hands and go, look, you can't make any other video, you can't ever post on social media again, you can't even run between now and June 29th, but you get to get the Olympic time and then go to British Champs, I'd be like, well done. Because Olympics is like, that's like the pinnacle of all achievements ever in any sport. It's like, if you do that, you know, snowboarders are the pinnacle of their sport, it's probably the Olympics. I don't actually know if that's true, but like, just...
No, I know we're coming to the end, so I don't want to start another snowball, but we were talking about this as well. It's like, you're fine putting yourself out there and saying that. And I think we discussed it earlier, everyone's been talking about that Josh Kerr interview. Sunday podcast. It's sick. If you haven't watched it, definitely go and watch it. But everyone's been saying, oh, why is he's lost? He's only won 2 times against Jakob, and one of them was in his semi-final. So why is he able to say that? But it's like, you have to. You got to put yourself in that position.
People that are saying that,
otherwise,
like,
what's the point?
That's the timer. 1 sec. I'll just finish this little bit, but like, you got to just realize, like, if you're in his situation, yeah, you're the guy for a year guaranteed, or 2 years guaranteed. Until the next World Championships, you are the world champion. That's how it works. In that 3 minutes of running, he earned the right to be able to call himself world champion for 2 years. And very cleverly for him, one, I think he's very strong psychologically. So actually, whether people hate him or love him, I don't think he cares at all. I don't think he cares whether a stadium's booing him or cheering for him. He just does his own thing, which is a skill as an athlete, like it or not. But you got to remember, in all sports, football, NFL, basketball, anything, right? Like, viewing figures and how many people watch dictate everything else. So if more people are watching, you get more sponsors. If there's more sponsors, there's more prize money. You know, if there's more prize money, better runners want a race in the race, and then it circles back around and more people watch. So your job as an athlete really is just to get people to watch. Now, you might do that by getting people to love you and be like, I want to tune in and watch Josh Kerr. I hope he smashes this field. I love him. I can't wait to watch him break the world record. Or you're going to get some people that are going to tune in and go, he's so rude to Jakob, like, I hope that he falls flat on his face and that Jakob smokes him and I don't like him. But the thing that both those people have in common is you're both tuning in to watch.
Yeah.
So if you're Milrose Games or you're whoever, you don't care if someone's watching it with a frown or a smile, as long as they're tuning in. You tell your sponsors, this is how many people watch, this is how many tickets we sold. And guess what? If you're Josh Kerr, you're going to the meet director and you're saying, have you seen how many eyeballs I'm bringing on the event? I think I better be paid pretty well, you know? That's marketing and that's running, and like, you've got to use your 15 minutes of fame, if you will, to make that count. And I think Josh Kerr, I don't know him at all, or who he's represented by, or whether it's his ideas or his teams, but I think in the last 6 months he's shown you that is exactly how you do it. Because really, this is the time where no one should be talking about a 1500 metre runner. You go to sleep and you wake up in indoors and then they all come back around. He's made himself the most relevant runner in December, and he's a 1500 metre runner. So that's my piece on
Not
it.
to plug a video that we've already made, but Andy Badley had some good opinions on athletes making their bank in their 15 minutes, as you say. So definitely go watch that. Pints with the Post.
Yeah, Andy Badley said, what did he say? He said, I would never race it indoors in sunglasses, but if I was being paid, I definitely would. Which I think sums everything up.
I'd wear them to bed if I was being paid.
Yeah, it's like however you feel now about people's decisions, if you put yourself in their shoes and you'd worked all your life slogging up hills and running bad races and whatever, when you get the chance to finally get some financial reward for it, I think your opinions would change.
Right, last quick question. You can answer this and then we'll finish it.
Yeah.
What are you running for a half marathon on that downhill course that Josh covered in 61 minutes? And we'll cut through this is going to get clipped, by the way, so just...
What can I run? I don't know.
Downhill.
How much?
Did you see the elevation?
How much does 700 feet make? Does that make a difference?
About 10 minutes. I reckon he's...
But how much difference does it actually make? Is
it's
it a lot? But I don't know. This sounds stupid. I live in the flattest city in the UK. I don't know what elevations are. Like, is 700 feet a lot?
It's a couple hundred meters, I think. I reckon it's
30 seconds.
Yeah, I reckon at least 30 seconds.
Do you reckon? I don't know.
I think maybe more.
I reckon if Josh Kerr did big half, where Jack Rowe ran, what did Jack Rowe run? 61.10.
61.09 or 08, yeah.
Okay, so 61.10 and Mohammed ran about 61.20. I reckon Josh Kerr comes in just behind Butchart in that race. So he's 62.10 or something, isn't he? 62.15. So about 30 seconds.
I like the fact you still haven't answered the question, but we'll leave it there.
Oh, what would I run?
Yeah.
Probably a minute and a half slower than that. Probably like 64 minutes or something.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Class.
All right.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe. Comment below with like things you want to see, things you don't want to see. Especially if you didn't like the video, just comment below as well, because that'll help us out even if you didn't like it.
But still thumbs up it though, and then comment.
Yeah.
Don't thumbs down it.
And to the 3 people that keep thumbs down in every video, why? Why are you doing it? Anyway, right. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one.